Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni has taken a pragmatic approach in her relations with both the BRICS group, Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa, and the European Union. This approach mirrors Italy's position in the G7, a grouping of the world's most advanced economies. Meloni's invites to BRICS nations Brazil, India, and the United Arab Emirates highlight Italy's goal of promoting international collaboration and addressing global concerns through inclusive discourse. If you're new to our channel, please leave a like and subscribe so you never miss another video. Meloni invited leaders from several developing countries to the 2024 G7 summit, including India, Algeria, Brazil, Jordan, Kenya, Mauritania, Tunisia, Turkey, and the United Arab Emirates. This approach demonstrates her commitment to incorporate diverse perspectives into G7 negotiations, acknowledging these countries' significant roles in the global economic and political environments. Although her initiatives appear to pull these countries away from the BRICS framework, Meloni's major purpose is to challenge the EU's ideas while also offering chances for the global South within the predominantly Western G7 framework. This stance has generated criticism from other G7 leaders, particularly French President Emmanuel Macron, who has shown unequivocal opposition to Meloni's attitude. Meloni has openly attacked certain EU policies, portraying the Union as an intrusive bureaucratic organization and asking for more transparent and democratic decision-making processes, particularly with regard to high-level EU appointments. A crucial component of Meloni's approach is to establish Italy as a conduit for African energy exports to Europe. She has committed €5.95 billion to this initiative, with the goal of establishing Italy as a hub for African gas and energy distribution to the European market, in part to offset lower Russian energy imports due to the current Ukraine conflict. Her goals include working with the business sector and international organizations, such as the EU, to progress these projects. Furthermore, her administration has emphasized the allocation of 70% of Italy's climate fund to Africa, demonstrating her dedication to the region's sustainable development. This project is consistent with Italy's broader objective of fostering inclusive economic growth and stability in Africa, recognizing the necessity of mutual prosperity. Giorgia Meloni, born on January 15, 1977 in Rome, Italy, has been the country's prime minister since October 2022, making her the first woman to hold the role. She leads the Brothers of Italy party, often known as Fratelli d'Italia, or FDI, which is distinguished by its right-wing populist and nationalist position, with origins in Italy's post-fascist political organizations. Meloni's political career began in her teens when she joined the Italian Social Movement, or MSI, a neo-fascist organization founded following World War II. She later rose to prominence in the National Alliance, the MSI's successor, as it sought to remove itself from fascist associations. Meloni co-founded the Brothers of Italy in 2012, with the goal of creating a conservative national platform. Meloni's policies show strong conservative views, notably on social matters. She is opposed to same-sex marriage and adoption by LGBTQ+ couples, and instead advocates for traditional family structures. She has also spoken out against globalism, emphasizing national sovereignty and cultural identity. While Meloni is Eurosceptic, opposing certain European Union policies and seeking for greater national autonomy inside the group, she recognizes Italy's important position in the EU. Her approach aims to strike a balance between pursuing nationalist goals and working collaboratively with European allies. Initially, Meloni's government took a harsh stance on immigration, enacting laws that limited arrivals and expedited deportations. Recognizing Italy's demographic concerns and labor constraints, her administration has lately implemented measures to improve legal migration paths. This change intends to attract foreign workers, which are critical for sectors experiencing workforce shortages, suggesting a realistic response to Italy's socio-economic requirements. Meloni resigned as president of the European Conservatives and Reformists Party in December 2024, after serving since 2020. She noted her inability to devote enough time to the post due to her commitments as prime minister, and expressed support for Polish politician Mateusz Morawiecki as a possible replacement. Under Meloni's leadership, Italy pursued agreements with nations such as Albania to regulate migration flows. These programs involve transporting migrants to processing centers in Albania in order to dissuade illegal immigration. However, these measures have met legal challenges, with an Italian court rejecting the detention of migrants transported to Albania in October 2024, determining that the country could not be considered a safe third country for such purposes. Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni has stated significant opposition to Ursula von der Leyen's probable re-election as president of the European Commission, which is consistent with her overall political strategy and Italy's developing posture inside the European Union. Meloni, leader of the far-right Brothers of Italy group, has questioned von der Leyen's leadership on matters including as migration and economic policies. According to reports, von der Leyen attempted to soften EU criticism of Italy in order to earn favor, which resulted in charges of politicizing EU institutions. Meloni's coalition partner, Matteo Salvini of the League Party, has also spoken out against von der Leyen, indicating greater anger among Europe's right-wing forces. Salvini has criticized von der Leyen's policies, particularly in the automotive sector, labeling them as disastrous mistakes and pushing for a shift in course during her prospective second term. The European People's Party, or EPP, has backed away from forming alliances with Meloni's group, complicating von der Leyen's re-election chances and highlighting tensions among EU political blocs. Despite these obstacles, Meloni has expressed her willingness to continue working with von der Leyen, highlighting the importance of continued collaboration. This complex relationship emphasizes the deep interplay between national politics and EU leadership, with Meloni's position possibly influencing Italy's participation in the EU and the broader political scene. The relationship between China and Italy has grown dramatically throughout the years, evolving from ancient cultural exchanges to solid modern economic alliances. Interactions between China and Italy trace back to antiquity, particularly through characters such as Marco Polo, a Venetian adventurer whose voyages to China in the 13th century facilitated early cultural and commercial interactions. Formal diplomatic relations between the two modern countries were established on November 6, 1970, when Italy recognized the People's Republic of China, leading other European countries to consider similar actions. In recent decades, China and Italy's economic links have grown significantly. In 2022, bilateral commerce was estimated to be $73.5 billion, with China sending $56.1 billion to Italy and importing $17.4 billion in Italian products. This trade dynamic has resulted in a trade surplus that benefits China. China's principal exports to Italy include broadcasting equipment, $630 million, computers, $1,670 million, and trunks and cases, $1,170 million. Italy's primary exports to China are packaged medicaments, $1.36 billion, vehicles, $1.01 billion, and trunks and cases, $721 million. Chinese exports to Italy have expanded at an annualized pace of 11.9% in the 5 years running up to 2022, whereas Italian exports to China have increased by 2.4% per year. In 2019, Italy became the first G7 country to join China's Belt and Road Initiative, a worldwide infrastructure development initiative aiming at boosting commerce and economic growth in Asia and elsewhere. This decision drew condemnation from friends, particularly the United States, who saw the BRI as a way for China to enhance its geopolitical influence. Italy officially withdrew from the BRI in December 2023, citing a lack of significant economic benefits and rising concerns about China's expanding global footprint. Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni, who previously criticized Italy's involvement in the BRI as a severe error, led the decision to withdraw from the program. Despite withdrawing from the BRI, Italy declared a desire to preserve strong bilateral relations with China. Italian authorities stressed that other G7 nations have strong commercial links with China despite not being part of the BRI, implying that Italy might explore similar opportunities. China's reaction to Italy's resignation was cautious, with the foreign ministry emphasizing its staunch opposition to smearing Belt and Road cooperation, showing China's willingness to continue joint efforts despite Italy's exit from the program. Despite leaving the BRI, Italy continues to pursue strong commercial ties with China. Italian Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni visited Beijing in July 2024, where he met with President Xi Jinping and Premier Li Qiang. During the visit, both countries inked a 3-year action plan to expand their overall strategic relationship, with an emphasis on areas such as electric mobility and renewable energy. Prime Minister Meloni stressed the importance of rebalancing commercial relations, said that Italian investments in China are 3 times larger than Chinese investments in Italy. Xi campaigned for the reduction of barriers to Italian products entering the Chinese market, aiming for a more balanced trading partnership. Cultural linkages remain an important aspect of China-Italy relations. The 700th anniversary of Marco Polo's journeys was marked in 2024, highlighting the two countries' long-standing historical relations. Academic cooperation and cultural exchanges continue to thrive, promoting mutual understanding and shared heritage. Italy maintains strong trading ties with the BRICS nations, particularly India, Brazil, and the United Arab Emirates, all of which have distinct dynamics and major economic exchanges. Eastern states and the BRICS offer potential prospects for Italy to expand its economic and geopolitical partnerships. Economically, Italy could benefit from access to large markets in China and India for its exports, which include luxury items, machinery, and pharmaceutical products. Strengthening trade connections with BRICS could help Italy minimize its over-reliance on EU markets. Partnerships with BRICS countries such as Russia, which produces natural gas, and Brazil, a major player in biofuels, might further improve energy security. Italy's brief participation in China's Belt and Road Initiative in 2019 demonstrated its interest in improved infrastructure and connectivity, albeit the country quit the BRI in 2023. Italy may still pursue strategic partnerships with BRICS countries to promote development. Politically, aligning with BRICS might give Italy more clout in global geopolitics by broadening its alliances and lowering its reliance on the EU. Unlike the EU, BRICS does not enforce strict policy frameworks, which may provide Italy more leeway in pursuing its national interests. Collaborations in technology and military with BRICS countries, particularly India and China, could help to supplement Italy's industrial strengths. However, such an alignment presents substantial obstacles. Partnering with BRICS may affect Italy's connections with traditional Western allies, particularly the US and NATO, which are critical to Italy's defense and economic stability. Geopolitical risks also exist, particularly in the context of Russia's ongoing crisis in Ukraine, which could subject Italy to sanctions or political backlash. Italy's obligations as an EU member limit its capacity to make unilateral economic or political decisions, especially when dealing with countries considered as challengers to Western democracies. Rather than a full pivot to the East, Italy may pursue a dual alignment strategy, strengthening trade and investment ties with BRICS while remaining committed to EU ideals. This strategy might concentrate on specific sectors, such as renewable energy, artificial intelligence, and infrastructure, allowing Italy to engage with rising economies while without alienating Western partners. At the same time, connections with Eastern nations may strengthen Italy's negotiation position in the EU on crucial topics such as fiscal policy and migration. Italy's growing involvement in global politics reflects its desire to strike a balance between old Western allies and emerging Eastern opportunities. While a complete change to BRICS appears unlikely, diversification of relationships may become an increasingly important focus for Italy in the future years. Thank you for staying till the end. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like as well as a sub so more people can see this.